What are we doing today?
What we're doing is very, very simple.
Joseph and I have a car.
Barack Obama, Kerry, the UN are trying to delete Jewish history. This is how we answer them. We're going to show our birthright to the land of Israel, including Judea and Samaria. They cannot get away with their lies. Small lies make big problems. We're going to wipe those lies off the map. We're going to show the Jews belong in the land of Israel.
We're going there to give them support. This is not a political trip in any way, sort of form. This is really just an answer to anti-Semitism and people telling us that we don't belong in Israel. So God bless you. You'll have an amazing day here today, and I'm super excited.
In 1947, the British, who were ruling the area of the British Mandate of Palestine, before 1948, again, most of the things in the British Mandate of Palestine that were called Palestinian were actually Jewish. The Palestine Post is today the Jerusalem Post. The Palestine Brigade was a Jewish brigade that fought with the British against the Nazis. The Palestine football team was actually a football team, a Jewish football team in the area. We're going to go right now to a winery, a beautiful winery in Psagot, some wine tasting, and this is exactly the people who this frontal attack is actually on.
Take a look around, you see those mountains look like that for 2,000 years. Nobody succeeded. Everybody tried. They came, they planted, nothing grow. You know, everybody says the conclusion was Israel, it's a desert. It's unuseful. You know, Mark Twain, the famous American Mark Twain, you know that he wrote a whole book about Israel 120 years ago, 30 years ago. The conclusion is desert. Okay, malaria, disease, you can do nothing here. When we start the winery, we brought wine advisor, winemaker from France. He came here, was standing just here on our first vineyard when we planted, and he says, guys, you pay me a lot of money, do yourself a favor, okay? It's not the place, it's not going to. And 4 years later, when we produced our first wine, I sent my wine to a competition in Vinali in France, and we took the gold medal. Then I sent him a letter with that bottle of wine. So, but it's nothing to do, I must tell you, it's nothing to do with us. Again, God promised us, we came back to the land will come back to us. And you can see the land is flourishing.
We just celebrated Hanukkah. I actually laughed when, after Kerry said the Kotel and the Temple Mount and Judea and Samaria are illegal, he then wished us a happy Hanukkah.
So this is the, I would say, absurd contradiction. On one hand, he celebrated something that happened 2 millennia ago here in Judea and Samaria, and the other day he made an absurd assertion that we are occupiers in our own land. So rest assured that this land is Jewish land. It will remain Jewish land.
Judea and Samaria is not only legal to the Jews, it's part of our birthright, it's part of who we are, it's part of our DNA.
This is the land of our forefathers, and it's going to be also the land of our great-grandchildren.
You'll see it as soon as you pass this wall, look back on the left side, you'll see a mound of sand. Just a month and a half ago, the army unit here was witnessing Arabs who had Molotov cocktail bottles. You see it on the left? Look to the left right now. They literally stand on there, and sometimes they throw stones and Molotov cocktail bottles. On the left you see Beit Lechem. Beit Lechem is a huge, huge city. So far you've seen absolutely zero checkpoints. We're turning left now to the northern entrance of Efrat. Here is the first checkpoint right here. It is the entrance to Efrat.
Obama's statement and Kerry's statements, and I want to make it very clear. Anyone who is anti-settlement is anti-Jewish and anti-Semitic. Jews have been living in Jerusalem for 2,000 years in an unbroken chain. What do you mean the Jews who came back, they came back illegally? The Arabs who were there went there illegally, a war of aggression, not listening to the United Nations. But we all of a sudden become the illegal occupiers, and they all of a sudden become the righteous citizens.
Now understand, we're visiting areas called Judea. Let me explain to you how that's pronounced. Judea.
This was an area that was twice settled before the establishment of the state, and in an act of ethnic cleansing, very much like the the Holocaust, the Jews were massacred and forcibly removed from their land that they had bought and that they had settled in the previous decades. So that this whole area belies the very notion of an occupied territory, that this belonged to somebody else. It's just not true.
You know, I never understood how in the late 1930s the whole world could have accepted, the whole civilized world, certainly the European world, could have accepted the lies of Hitler and Goebbels about the Jewish people. You just look around and you see how the United Nations accepted those lies now, how unfair the world can be.
So on the left, you'll see a red sign. This red sign does not say Arabs are not allowed. It says
Jews are not.
Jews are not allowed.
You are in Oz VeGaon, July 1st, 2014, 8 p.m. We heard about the news that the 3 boys were found murdered not far from here. They were kidnapped a few hundred meters from here and murdered a few hundred meters from here. My co-chair, the person I have the incredible honor to work with for 11 years, Judith Katzover, one of the founders of Judea Hebron, she calls me a second later, did you hear the news? Said, yes, we're going up, we have to give a Zionist response. And we came up here. This is a forest that up until then was full, was completely a garbage dump of the Arabs of the area. It was a place used illegally by despite the fact that the land is completely state land. It was already meant for zoning, for tourism, etc. Years that Jews were scared to come up here, and we said the time has come to redeem this place. We came up here with tens and hundreds of volunteers. We don't have the time to tell you the whole story. I just have one sentence to say. Over 30,000 youth came to help and clear up the dirt here. And whatever you see here, we turned this place together with all of Am Yisrael. The motto of this place is Tzomchim mitoch ha'ke'ev. We grow from the pain. We do not get discouraged. We don't say this is not our land. At the contrary, if they think that by terror they're going to take away our land, we are here to say Am Yisrael Chai. This is what Oz VeGaon mean. Oz is because in the area it's called Migdal Oz, so we chose the name Oz means strength. Gaon is the 3 boys, Gilad, Eyal, Naphtali, is pride, the praise of Jewish strength and pride. This is Oz VeGaon. This is not only the place where we came in 2014, we found here an ancient winery and an ancient olive press of 2,000 years ago. Our forefathers were here working the land. When somebody at the UN says that we have no connection to this land, we laugh because we see the proof that they were here. The Maccabees fought a few hills away from here. The famous battle of the Maccabees was a few hills away from here.
Joseph and Liana and Dovi, when they put this together, if I'm not mistaken, it was as a response to the Obama and Kerry's, and I'm using other people's language, anti-Semitic decision to push forward that UN decision, the anti-Semitic, because Israel is the only country being singled out in the land, in the world, that's called anti-Semitism.
The UN and what Obama and Kerry did over the last month is blatant attack, not on Israel, but on Jewish history.
All right, well, here we are at the un-Jewish Western Wall, the Kotel, the recently declared Muslim Western Wall.
What a fantastic day we had with Joseph Wax, who put this together in 2 days. We had 3 buses traveling across Judea and Samaria, giving a clear and loud answer to those who challenge our birthright to the land of Israel, including Judea and Samaria. And we finished off right here at the Western Wall. Over the Western Wall, the place is the Temple Mount. I say to people, they built that over this and we're the occupiers. It's got to stop. We were here before the U.S. State Department. We'll be here after them. Jews are here to stay. Judea and Samaria is an integral part of the land of Israel and part of our culture and who we are. It's in our DNA. Keep strong, everyone. Keep fighting for Israel. We will always come out on top.